UFC Kansas City main card has just been released, boys. We got the main event, co-main event, the feature fight, and we got the other fights on the main card. It's a pretty good main card. It's a pretty good card. Kansas City is getting a decent card. We are going to dive into it. I'm going to give you guys my early predictions, my breakdowns on the fights, real quick breakdowns, what I think about the fights, what I think about the matchmaking. Not bad matchmaking, to be fair, man. We will dive right in. Before we go ahead and get into it, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's start it off with the first fight on the main card, which is Ikram Aliskerov versus Andre Muniz. Is the first fight on the main card, man. Not a bad fight. This fight was supposed to be happening in Saudi Arabia, I believe, not that long ago. It did get delayed, got pushed back. Here we are. We got Ikram versus Muniz, I believe, April 26th. This is opening up the main card. Not a bad fight, man. I think it was going to be on the main card. Actually, no, it wasn't going to be on the main card of Saudi Arabia. It is now on the main card of this fight night in Kansas City. Not a bad fight to start off the main card. Early pick, I'm going to be going with Aliskerov, man. Muniz, he's aging, coming off of a couple bad losses, I think. Uh, Muniz is kind of up and down, man. Obviously, Ikram got KO'd by Whitaker, man, but hey, man, Whitaker's still the GOAT. He's still goated. He's still goated. He's still up there in the rankings. So can't hate on Ikram for taking that one on short notice. But I'm gonna go Ikram early pick, man. Not a bad fight. Of course, they had to rebook this one. I thought they were totally just gonna skip over this, but they did rebook it. Not bad. It opens up the main card, man. We move on to the next fight though. We got Pereira versus Magomedov, man. We got I'm forgetting his name right now. We got Pereira versus Abu Magomedov. Yeah, of course, Abu Magomedov, man. He's getting another shot at the rankings. Crazy, he's getting another shot at the rankings right now. I think he's only on a 2-fight win streak. He got a shot a while ago against Sean Strickland. High shot in the rankings as well. I think he was 2 fights in the UFC, 1 or 2 fights in the UFC, got a win. They gave him a shot with Sean Strickland. He got absolutely destroyed in the Apex. He's now going to Kansas City and fighting Michel Pereira, man, who is an absolute maniac. He's an absolute maniac, and he's only in a 3-rounder here. He's coming off that loss to, what's his name? Anthony Hernandez, who is now in the top 10, man. So it's not a bad loss to Hernandez. Hernandez is on the come up, but Pereira gassed out hard. But in a 3-rounder, this is Pereira's fight every day of the week, man. I think this is going to be a close fight. I think it will, but Pereira's craziness and the damage he can inflict, especially in just a 3-rounder, he can just put all his energy out there. I think he's going to crumble Abu Magomedov, honestly. So early pick, I'm going Michel Pereira, but I mean Magomedov has gone better. He's coming off that submission win over Bruno Ferreira, who I think a lot of people picked Ferreira to win that fight. I thought it was going to be close, but Abu did pull that one off, and he's fighting Pereira here. I think it's going to be a close fight, but I'm going to go Pereira as an early pick. We move on to the feature fight, though, which is Giga Chikadze versus David Onama. Not a bad feature fight. Onama is on the come up. He's coming off of a few fight win streak, I believe. He just beat I don't even know that dude's name. I don't even know the guy's name who he just beat. That was a good fight, though. That was a good fight. I remember that fight. That was a scrap. That was an absolute scrap. But the guy was coming in on short notice, and he wasn't even in the UFC, and it was a very close fight. So I don't know about David Onama. We're going to have to see. He's fighting a seasoned guy in Giga Chikadze whose striking is just crisp stuff. Giga's only really lost to wrestlers or guys who are scrappier than him and who can get in the pocket and start throwing hard. We'll see if David Onama does that. Usually Onama isn't a guy who gets too scrappy, but in his last fight, he was very scrappy. He was forced to get scrappy and start throwing hands. So, Onama versus Chikadze, not a bad fight. Early pick, I'm going to be going with David Onama. I do think Giga Chikadze is on his way out. I do think he's on his way out, but this might be a good matchup for him. This does look like a decent stylistic matchup for Giga Chikadze. So I think it's gonna be a close fight. But I'm gonna go David Onama early pick. We move on to the co-main event, man. Anthony Smith versus freaking Zhang, man. I mean, Anthony Smith, just retire. Please retire. Please. For the love of God, please retire, man. We love Anthony Smith. But after losing his coach and after his last fight, who did he lose to again? Oh, Dominic Reyes. After he got beat down by Dominic Reyes and just accepted to get punched. He wanted to get punched. It was sad to watch. It was genuinely sad to watch. Obviously I wanted to root for Dominic Reyes, and I was rooting for Dominic Reyes, but it was still sad to see Anthony Smith just crumble down and kind of get destroyed. So I don't know. I think he's gonna lose this fight. I do think he's gonna lose this fight, but it's just sad to see. I think he should retire. I think he should have retired. And yeah, so he Smith versus Zhang. Zhang's a pretty good prospect, coming off that knockout win over I think it was Tuco Tokos or something, man. One of those guys. So you can't really rate his wins. I don't rate Zhang's wins, but Smith is just he's just on thin ice, very thin ice, and I think he should have retired at the end of his last fight, but he's fighting Zhang, who's an up and coming prospect, has a lot of power, light heavyweight. I'm going to be going with Zhang as the early pick, but I hope Smith can pull this one off. We move on to the main event, though. Holy moly. Jamal Hill versus Khalil Rountree Jr. This is a good fight. This is a good fight, man. I mean, we thought that they would book this fight after Hill lost his fight to Yuri, but it wasn't confirmed. This is a good fight, man. This is a good fight. This is going to be fight of the night by far. 100% 5-rounder. Hill versus Rountree. Somebody's getting knocked out. This is a good fight. This is a good fight for Kansas City main event. This is a fight that they can build some hype around. This is a fight that, it matters in the rankings as well. Hill is number 4. Rountree's number 7. This is a good fight. This is a good fight. I'm excited to see this one. Somebody's going to get knocked out. I know somebody's going to get knocked out. Even though you can clown on Hill all you want, I mean, of course he's got a personality on social media, if you'll say, but Khalil Rountree always comes for a fight, man. He always throws hands, and Hill as well. Jamal Hill, I mean, sure, he's annoying on social media, but this dude throws hands, and he brings a fight of the night almost every single time. I mean, come on. His fight with Yuri was amazing. It doesn't matter if he got knocked out. He brought it to Yuri, and they were throwing hands. That was a great fight. That was fight of the night, and it was a performance bonus for Yuri. That was a beautiful fight, and even though Hill is annoying, he will always bring an entertaining fight. He's kind of like Michael Chandler, a little bit like Michael Chandler, just not as much privilege. No Dana White privilege here, but good ass fight, man. Good ass fight. Somebody's gonna be going to sleep, and I'm gonna be honest, man. I gotta go with Khalil Rountree. I have to. I'm sorry. Unless Jamal Hill improves his striking defense and his speed, if Jamal Hill did some cardio, cut his weight, and cut down to middleweight, this dude would be a serious problem. But here he is with a belly at light heavyweight, and he's fighting absolute killers nonstop. Alex Pereira, Yuri, and now Khalil Rountree. I think he's going to get knocked out in round 3 or round 4. I think he's going to be a good fight, though. I think it's going to be a good fight. It's going to last a while. I think, Hill will land on Rountree, injure him, will cut up his face. I think both their faces will be bloodied, and then I think Rountree will find a nice hook, a nice left hook to drop Hill and finish him on the ground. I think it's going to be a good fight, though, boys. This is not bad for Kansas City. If you guys are excited for this fight night, man, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, drop your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think about this fight night. But I will catch you boys in the next one. See you.